standing outside waiting for you. You were always taking time, baby, playing it through. I was calling out your name with my eyes on the wall. You were running like a ghost from me. You were running from it all. You got me waiting, I'm on fire. You got me waiting, my desire. Keep on moving.
So what's up, guys? We're at the close-up of the ES300 Exoskeleton by Wismec. Yeah, I'm gonna call it the, I don't know, the inventory box model. It looks like an inventory shelf. So let me give you some specs on this real quick. So it comes in red, silver, and blue. I have the red version. Goes up to 300 watts with 3 18650s and 300 watts in TC mode. And then you can also do 2 18650s. And it goes to 200 watts. All right, so that's really cool. Brand new WT series coils with optimal flavor and huge clouds. So this is the package that it comes in. Exoskeleton ES300 by Wismec.com. No cells. It comes with a cage atomizer. I'm gonna call it like a sub-ohm tank / RTA. 0.4 and a 1.7. Okay, warning cards, spare parts, all that good stuff. Wismec.com. Pop the top. You're going to get your ES300. Okay, we'll look at it in a second. And it has this little pull tab thingy-majangs. And inside, you would get a user manual. Very in-depth user manual. WT series coil using reference. 50 to 70, 110 to 130. Vapor, cloud, flavor, purity. It gives you kind of like a balance thing of e-liquid on the atomizer. Yeah, it just gives you stuff. Comes with this as well. And it comes with a cage user manual as well. Then it has this box. Inside the package, you will get a micro USB cord for charging, a bag of O-rings, and 3 additional screws. No additional glass. And you also get this coil head. Alright, so this is a sub-ohm tank style coil head. It says WTV3, 0.17, 80 to 220 watts. Logo on there. Gold plated on the bottom. It's a 3-coil setup. And here is the EXO ES300 exoskeleton with a fidget spinner. Crazy, man. So it's kind of like a see-through device. It has this cage on the outside, very strong cage. So I would say this is more for like somebody that's a construction, somebody that's working a lot and tendency to drop things or put it in their pocket or banging around. That's what I think the selling point on this is for. That's covering and protecting the glass, and that is protecting the box itself. Really weird looking and unique for sure. It's 86 millimeters tall by 50.7 millimeters by 49.7 millimeters thick. But that 510's in the front and the screen is on the top. It does nickel, titanium, stainless steel, TCR, 1 to 200 with 2, 1 to 3 with 3 batteries, 0.05 to 1.5 ohms in TC, 0.1 to 3.5 ohms in variable wattage mode, 1 to 315 in Celsius, 2 to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. Maximum charging current. This has got a 2 amp charger. And the output voltage range is 0.5 to 9 volts. All right, now I don't know if this is firmware upgradable or not, okay? So first we're gonna look at the cage atomizer. Here is the cage atomizer. So it has this shield covering the glass, okay? Has a 510 drip tip that goes in there, okay? So you only can use your 510 drip tips on this. On the bottom, it does say cage, and it says Wismec, stainless steel, non-adjustable 510 pin. It is protruding I wouldn't use it on a hybrid. It's got some airflow on there. Pretty nice airflow. Nice tolerance to it when it's wet and juiced up, okay? And then you can take out, no, to fill it, you can take out the drip tip. And there's this little dropper. Push that forward. You fill it up like the E-Leaf products. Close it back off. Put the drip tip back in. You have to do it with the drip tip out or else it won't do it. And then you can fill it up. Now it holds 2.8 mLs of e-liquid. It's a little bit on the low side. If you unscrew the bottom, okay, that's the inside. You can take off that piece. I have some e-liquid in there, but little chimney. It's got like a smoked out glass situation. Okay, you can just pop that off. I guess you're gonna have to buy additional glass. Not really too much to it. And then you got 2 fused Claptons inside, which equals a 0.4 ohm, capable of going technically to 90 watts. Those are the fill ports. That's the one I've been using. Sorry about the juice, but it is what it is. It's like a RTA thing. Now, you're not going to be able to redo this. So once it's done, you got to, I guess, throw it out and get another one. Unscrew it from the bottom. That's the base of the tank. Atomizer. I'm just going to say atomizer. The bottom of the coil. Now, I've been using this coil head for a little bit. So there you have the cage atomizer. Cage slash fidget spinner. Now here we have the exoskeleton box mod. All right, we got the fire button there, micro USB port right on the chip, right there. As you can see, it's see-through. Okay, now I guess you can technically take off this cage by having these stars, but I don't have any of that size to take these out. I've tried. So I wouldn't want to take it off though. This thing would be brittle. And then it's got the chip. You can actually see the chip in there. Okay? We got the 510. We have the screen. Wattage up and wattage down buttons up top. And then it does say Wismec right here. See where it says that? A nice firm 510 pin. It looks like a gold-plated or brass. I would say gold-plated because that's what they usually do. Now this bad boy is 28 millimeters in diameter. Okay, the cage. All right, so you can get 28s without going over the screen. If you put 30s on here, it would definitely go over the screen. Okay, it would definitely like come over to the real estate of the screen. Well, I'm getting 30 millimeters on this, but they say it's 28. So I mean, I don't know. Holes for ventilation. Holes for ventilation. Man, it's tough to see the black. It says ES300 exoskeleton. Okay, you can see it there very nicely. I'm going to leave it right at that angle for you to see it. And then you can pull over and it pops open, plus up and 2 minus up. And then it's perfectly indicated minus plus plus. So the 2 batteries you would put on the bottom and the 3rd battery you put on the top. But don't put like the 2 batteries. If you only run 2, don't put it on the angles. Just put it in the front on these 2. It says 1, 2, 3. Got some contacts right there that when you close it, it makes a connection. You see that spring inside? That's creating the spring back. Okay, I think they did it pretty well. All right, so let me put some batteries in here. And then if you look on this side, plus, minus, plus. You want to pull it out. Pull it over. You can see the batteries in there. And there's no button rattle or battery rattle, so that's very nice. Okay, and there's the screen. Now what's cool about this one, it's got some lights too. That's saying no atomizer. Kind of cool. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but you would be, if you put a 30 on there, anything bigger, you would cover that little screen, okay? But there's nowhere else they really could have put the screen, so I like how they put it there. So when you fire it, it's going to do that. It's going to light up. When you go wattage up, that's going to change. When you go wattage down, that side's going to change, which is cool. 1, 2, 3. You're going to get into the menu system. It's going to blink. Variable wattages for wattage mode. You can go over to TC mode. If you go to the left button, it's going to switch over to stainless steel, nickel, or titanium. You go over again. You can change the watts up to 300 watts when you're in triple, 200 watts when you're in dual. And it does go all the way up, kind of slow. Hit the fire button when you're done. It does go up to 315 Celsius and stops. Then you can round robin. Hold it down, it goes pretty fast. It does adjust for that as well. We're gonna go 3 clicks again. You can go from TCM1 for TCR. You click over, you got 3 of those. 1, 2, and 3. Click over again. You can adjust the watts, click over again. You can lock the resistance, unlock the resistance. Over again. You can change amps to puff to seconds, back to amps. That's just going to switch back over to amps. You can do the same thing. It does go up in point. It goes in 0.1. I wish it did 1 watt. It's a 300 watt device. You have your batteries perfectly indicated 1, 2, and 3. It shows your wattage up top. This is what it looks like in wattage mode. This is basically all I use it for. I don't do TC. Just the type of guy I am. 9 volts. Because of the resistance that I have, it's not letting me go any higher. Depending on the resistance you have, it does go to 300 watts. Okay, but if you have a resistance on there that can't do more than 9, it has to do more than 9 volts, it's not going to let you do it. So I guess that's a good safety feature. You don't want to, and it automatically reads the resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exoskeleton, and then it's off. Firing the wattage up. You can get into your TCR. When it's off, you can adjust those accordingly. Hold the fire button. Firing the wattage down. It's going to give you your battery for volts for each battery. Those are freshly charged. Hit the plus and minus together. It's going to flip the screen. So it's the same chip style as all Wismec and Elif's products, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Version 1.0, if you hit it 20 times while it's off, I like how it stays on until you click it. I like that. I don't like how it shuts, other ones would shut off quickly. Firing the wattage down while it's on. You can go to your preheat. USB charge. Those lights will come on. You have to hit down, and then you can adjust your preheat. You can do your time. I've went over this a few times, okay? Firing the wattage down. Stealth, plus or minus. We'll lock the keys, unlock the keys, and that is the menu system. I like the lights, man. You know, it's a little gimmicky, but it's not. I like it because of how this dock it's set up. It's kind of cool. The lights, you know, it's different. It's definitely an odd looking setup. I ain't gonna, you know, lie to you. It's definitely odd, but if I was a construction worker, I'm looking at this in my mind. I'm reviewing this as like if I was somebody on a construction site, or I, you know, banged around mods a lot and, you know, stuff like that. This would be a good kick around device. That is next to the Revo 3000 by Vaporized Nomads and MRN Mods. That is next to the 8 Cigar VT250 triple 18650 as well. That is next to the 2700 Captain by iJoy, dual 2700. That's next to the Smokes GX350 Quad 18650. Kinda the same size. This is a little bit longer because it's got another battery, but not bad. That's next to the 8 Cigars VT250S triple 18650 device. That's next to the Lost Vapes Triad. And finally, that's next to the RX200S by Wismec. That is definitely, this is wider. All right, guys, that is the close-up of the ES300 by Wismec. Let's go back up top and I'll give you my final thoughts. So we are back from the close-up on the ES300 exoskeleton by Wismec. Well, AmbitionZ, how do you feel about it? It's a little bit odd looking. How does it vape? I gotta tell you, man, this thing, the cage atomizer, I like how this thing vapes. Great flavor. Leaks a little bit at the beginning depending on how much e-liquid you put in it, but a little bit of condensation, not a lot of leaking. That's a pro. Good flavor on it, really good flavor. Dual Claptons, I have the 0.4 ohm build, and I have it at 80 watts. But when this like juice gets low, yeah, don't let it get super low, because when you do, you're gonna have to, it's gonna start to get dry hits. Really good flavor. I got some Vinny's VapeR ice inside. This stuff is the best Italian ice you could ever have, man. It's really, really good. I do like it. Doesn't come with additional glass, but it has this like fidget spinner thing on the top. So it shouldn't break. You should be good. I don't know if that's a con. You know, it's got that to protect it, so I'm not going to mention that as a con. Airflow. I think it's almost perfect. For me, it's almost perfect. I like it closed off just a smidge, just a little bit closed off, and it works great. It's kind of, man, it's got a really good draw on it. Nice and warm. It's not a hot vape, but it's a nice warm vape. I like that. Now, I didn't mess with the 0.17 ohm coil just because that's more of a coil head, and I'm more of like an RTA type of person. So this is like an RTA with the two fused Claptons inside. It's a 0.4 ohm, but you can go up to 90 watts. I have it at 80 watts. I'm gonna bump it up right now to 90 watts to see if it can handle it. Now, what's cool about it is when you adjust, that light's gonna go, I like that. It's a little gimmicky as well, you know what I mean? But I like it. When you hold it, go up like that. So I thought that was really cool. It does the same exact thing. All right, 90 watts. Man, this thing vapes like it's at 110 watts. I really like it. I was very surprised at the performance of the cage atomizer. It's nice, dude. I really like the cage. Very surprised, guys. I can't stress that enough, man. This thing is definitely a weird looking device. I was also gonna do a drop test with my drone, but I don't have anything to kind of carry it up off the drone from the bottom of the legs. So I'm gonna work on that, and then I'm gonna take some devices. I'm gonna do drop tests from certain meters up. You know, I think this thing could take a drop, but not too high, because that chip, I think, would eventually get banged up and loose. But I think a normal drop from, like, you know, your waist or from your hand down to, you know, whatever, probably grass would be better, but concrete, I think it could handle maybe a drop or two. If you continuously drop it, I think eventually it's going to loosen up the connections and break. But I do want to mention it. I think that's why it's called the EXO Skeleton. It's supposed to be super strong and made for people like construction workers and people that work and have to bang things and throw it around. Stuff like that. Let's go over the box mod. I like how you can do triple 18650s and dual 18650s. I like that it goes to 300 watts on triple, and I like it goes to 200 watts on dual. It fires when you vape it. I think that's cool. You know what I mean? Considering the way this thing looks, adding lights, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be upset that they added lights. I mean, look at the thing, you know? This isn't like taking it to a vape show and, yo, check out my mod, dude. This thing's like beautiful. No, it's made to be banged around. Great vape production. It feels like this thing's true wattage. It does. I don't know about 300 watts, but 100 watts, it feels good. 110 watts, it feels like true wattage. You know, 150 watts, golden. You know, getting up to the 300 watts, I'm not sure. I don't vape that high. I don't want to vape that high. I never would vape that high. But this thing is a triple 18650. It does feel like true wattage to the wattage that I use, which is pretty high. So I should be covering about 90% of you guys. There's probably always a 10, 15% of people out there that vape, you know, super high wattage. The screen, I could read it daytime better than nighttime. Nighttime with a glare on it, you know, I have a little bit of a tough time reading it. The screen placement, they didn't really have anywhere else to really put it. I don't mind that either. Very comfortable in the hand. I think it fits in the hand perfectly. Even with those little exoskeletons, kind of grips in my hand perfectly. TC mode vapes pretty good. I'm not the hugest TC mode person. Wattage mode, it vapes great. The button's very clicky, very responsive. It fires instantly, ready, fire. 2 amp fast charging on this. That's a pro. I don't think this is firmware upgradable. I could be wrong, but it didn't say anywhere that it's firmware upgradable. So if I do find it, if I find out somewhere, I will update the description. I always do updates and put stuff in the description. So check that. If you're watching this, maybe I updated it and said that it's firmware upgradable. The battery door is nice. I don't like how the community's going with these doors, but it's not bad. There's holes for ventilation. It does the trick. There's not too much movement in it. It seems a lot nicer than a lot of other battery doors like this that I've seen. So I'm going to give it a pro for that as well. It's see-through. You can see your batteries. One thing I've noticed about this, at 90 watts, it does get, like, if you chain vape, you're going to get a semi-saturated vape. So, I mean, you can do 90 watts, but I don't feel like the juice is getting to the coils really efficiently as it should. It only holds 2.8 mLs of e-liquid, milliliters of e-liquid. That's not a lot of e-liquid, but it's full, and it has a tough time wicking. I have to be honest. It has a tough time, like, if you chain vape it, it takes a while for it to wick. So I think the wicking holes are a little bit too thin. I wish they were a little bit bigger, especially on the 0.4 ohm dual fused Clapton styled coil head. It is a fingerprint magnet on the inside shell. You're not going to see it on camera, but it does pick up fingerprints. So this was sent to me from Wismec.com for the purpose of this review. It's not changing my opinion. It never will. All right. So you can get it at Wismec.com. Link on screen and description. That's where I sent from. That you can find it. But I also found it on another website, myvpro.com. I'll put that in the description for you guys as well. Full transparency on this channel. If you use the link in the description of this, I do get a 5%, 5 to 10% commission if you go ahead and purchase it, okay? It is $68.99, 70 bucks for this. That is a good price point. You know, I mean, if you want to kick around, beat up device to take to work and not worry about it, I think this is a good one to go for. That's what I got for you today, squad. I hope you found the video helpful or informative. If you did, if you got something out of this review, consider subscribing, leaving a like. Comment down below if you have any additional questions or concerns on the exoskeleton / fidget spinner or anything else for that matter. I do give you content daily, 1080p 60 frames. Don't waste your bandwidth not being subscribed to the mother effing channel. Remember, squad, stay half-assed up. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.